welcome back. Fubar here, and today we're going to be covering top mistakes players make, especially in the beginning of the game when they're first starting out in their very first level 1 city. Well, the very first mistake is that they don't read everything in the game that is already readily available for knowledge, such as the camps. They don't read about the buffs per camp, and they don't read about camp buffs. They don't read the buildings, about the information on what these buildings do. And if you click right here, you can see that you can check to see what buffs they get and all these other things that are just hidden amongst the buildings. Another thing they'll do is they'll spread out their research through multiple tech trees, and they'll invest just a very little bit into city honors. They'll get to the end, but they won't finish it, and then they start their advanced combat, and then they'll jump around advanced combat from tank to artillery to our infantry to air force. What you should be doing is focusing one tree specifically until it's done, and then starting a next. But a lot of people just jump around, and also making with building units, a lot of people will. Let's go over here. A lot of people will build a 7.2 7-star unit, and then they'll jump and build another 7-star unit, and then it'll just keep jumping instead of taking that one unit and building it to 7.1 and building a stronger unit. Another big problem with this is that a lot of people will be spreading their bullets, their gears, and wrenches throughout all their units when they should be powering up one unit at a time to its highest potential. And that becomes very, very wrong. Because if you do that, you're going to get your butt kicked very much so in a lot of fights. Another thing that people do wrong is that the VIP. A lot of people neglect VIP. As you can see right here, I'm VIP 15. I'm taking a little break on it because my goal is VIP 20, and that should be your goal as well. So that way you can better farm parts. But a lot of people will neglect their VIP level, and they're missing out desperately because right when you hit VIP 14, you're getting 3 universal statues a day for upgrading their officers. You're getting a ton of buffs throughout there. And then once you hit 16, you get 1 free gold blueprint a day. 18, you get 2 a day. And then at 20, you get 3 a day. Another thing a lot of players are doing also is they're throwing away blueprints that they should be keeping for the future. If you say you know your setup, you've followed these steps, and you read the manuals, you're like, okay, I understand these units now. I want to build this specific units in the future. I'm going to start with this unit, and this unit. Then but they also have in the back of their mind the other ones. They'll draw these gold plus parts for that unit, and then they'll sacrifice them. Don't do that. Do not do that. Another common mistake with players is that they don't build a flexible loadout. When I say a flexible loadout, it means you need to be able to field fight, but you also want to be able to tank a base as well. So that's why the current meta, once you hit 182 days, a lot of players will start with an MBT, and they won't have a helicopter or anything like that because the MBT can field fight, but it can also tank base, which is an amazing thing. But another thing that they do wrong is they'll neglect their Air Force. So that could be a very big issue. Next common thing I see done wrong, we're going to use this as an example. You should be building the officers you need first and awakening them, and then going on to the next. And you want to awaken them all the way. But there's some people out there who are going to level 3 skills here, level 3 skills on a different officer, and they'll just go down the list. They just get them all to level 3, then they're going to try getting them all to level 4. Don't do that. It's going to take you forever. Focus one officer at a time. Wake him up. All right. And also, once you hit 182 days, Then you can look at the other officers and you say, oh, I don't need this officer. He's irrelevant to me, but I like one of his skills. Then you can bring that skill to level 5 and use that skill in the future for your units. So you make sure you're prioritizing on officers that you need versus officers that are just going to sit there. And that's something you need to sit down and think about. And you also need to think and ask yourself, how is this officer going to synergize with my unit and my other units? What's other ways I can use this officer effectively? So, like, for example, Golden Eagle I'm working on right now, he's a versatile officer, field officer, and attack. But his solid skills will make him actually pretty good on an ATG, as well as infantry and any tank unit or helicopter unit in the game. And he can even be put on other artillery units and be fully fine and do massive amounts of damage. So you just need to think about the synchronization of your officers and how they sync up and if they complement each other. If they don't complement each other, why use them? That's the name of the game. The strongest pairings in the game are always the officers that sync perfectly together. And that's the ones you want to invest in, and it has to fit your play style. That's the next thing. A lot of players do not understand what their play style is. So what I'm suggesting is before you start heavily investing in this game, invest in the time to learn the units so that way you know what units you like and what style of play you like. You might be thinking, oh, well, I want to be a field fighter, but you really enjoy blowing up bases. Or you think, oh, well, I'm kind of, you watch all these old videos and you're like, well, 2 years ago, everyone would just ran around with a super heavy and 4 artillery and we're blowing up bases, and that's how the game should be played. No. Take out a unit, play around with it, see how it does. See, oh, you'll be like, oh, I like that. I like this unit speed. I like how it can develop. You don't need it to be modern. You don't need it to be 7.2. Take it out and test it out. Build what you like and build it to fit you. Another thing is, a lot of people opening up crates. When they open up their crates for blueprints, they're not opening them up in crates of 10. And that's a big waste because you're losing a 1 in 10 chance of getting a gold plus plus part and a guaranteed almost every single time gold plus. So keep these little tips and tricks in mind, and this will greatly benefit you in the future. Okay? Oh, one more before we sign off. Build a barracks one at a time to their max level. So, because you're not gonna, when you get to 182 days, you might have only 1 or 2 units that are 7.2, and you can focus on one hangar to level 32, and then continue from there. You don't want to have all your hangars level 32 and your barracks level 32, but no units to put in them. It's just a waste of resources where you could be investing in research or other important buildings such as your reserve barracks, your RSS buildings, which are very easy, but they help a lot. There's a ton of, or your fortified walls. There's a lot of things you could invest in that will help you more. Next thing is not properly using your gold, which meaning like you're buying speed ups, you're wasting them when you should be buying your speed ups from VIP, the VIP store, or you should be not buying them at all and just waiting and being patient. It's better to be patient than to waste gold because once you start investing into Air Force, you're going to notice that you need to get Air Force parts, and good Air Force parts are hard to come by. But if you do the slot machine event and you have 400k gold, you could go get instantly a gold plus plus part for that unit. So just keep that in mind, okay? Well, that's going to be it for this short video. I hope it helped. If it did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Thank you. Bye.